Everybody, after what was an extended break, we are here to do our last game of the Southeast Asian region before we have Europe later on tonight.
That's what happens when you get a 2-0 stomp, Toby.
Yeah. Well, okay, one of the games didn't even...
No, both of them were pretty... TNC are a good team, man. I don't want to like hit on the opposing team too much. I actually think the TNC just played really well. They drafted really smartly. So I think they're actually going to go pretty far in this qualifier.
They're up against 1, 2, 3 next, though.
Yeah.
So that may not be as easy a game.
That's definitely going to be a much tougher opponent. But
yeah. But it's going to be some good games, and that's what we search for. And I'm looking forward to it, hopefully, in this game, as we do have a team which, when you first read it, you're just like this reminded me of backpacking in Australia. Mm-hmm. Going out and camping, and then you look at your back, and there's a tick on it.
Yeah.
Those
things are gross. I've never gotten one. Have you gotten one?
Grew up in Australia, dude.
That's gross, man. You're probably filled with all kinds of diseases now.
I had no.
Probably to this day, Toby. You probably have some lingering diseases that are still there.
Wow, thanks, Cap.
That's what I think of when I see. They're so gross.
It's called a boosted immune system.
Oh, gross.
But I've seen, like, I actually had a cat sucked dry by ticks.
Oh God.
He went through our backyard and picked up a whole bunch of them and actually was killed by the ticks. They're really bad.
Good Lord, Toby. How do you think that? Oh my God. I don't want to hear that. I don't think anybody on stream wants to hear that either. Oh.
It was
gross. I bet it was. Jesus, way to give everybody a downer while we're trying to watch some donut. All I'm thinking about is this cat, like, literally just, like a vampire, just, like, sucked it totally dry, and you see these ticks all at... Oh,
actually,
gross.
He never even got to that point. But yeah, here's a word of advice. If you're trying to take ticks off, don't just snap them out. Yeah. If you leave the head in, they actually put an almost dangerous to lethal dose of anesthetic into your bloodstream, and will actually just stop your heart. So... there's a tip for surviving the Australian outback.
Luckily, I lived in an area where I never had to worry about ticks. I only read about them.
Had ticks, had leeches.
Leech? Oh my God, you had leeches too? Jesus.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh man.
That was the downside about using our naturally made rock slide. That and the eels that lived in the water.
Screw Australia, man. I'm sorry, Toby, but that does not sound like a fun place to live.
It's a great place to live.
Eels, leeches, ticks.
I didn't see what
you know what the most I have to worry about in Washington State? Mosquito bites. That's all I have to worry about.
Dude, mosquito bites are lethal.
Yeah, but it's like...
you
it's
get
not
so
even
many diseases. You actually get more diseases from mosquito bites than you would a tick.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Mosquitoes aren't even that bad in Washington.
My mother actually contracted Ross River because of a mosquito bite.
We have like no poisonous animals in Washington State. You know that?
It's like Berlin. Like, there's nothing here that's going to hurt you apart from maybe a homeless person on the street. And that's only if you antagonize him. Yeah.
It's the meth addicts, actually, Toby.
I don't know about
That's the real danger here in Berlin.
We live in West Berlin. We don't know about them. They're all over in East Berlin.
That's true.
Okay.
And I know you never leave West Berlin, so...
that's actually... yeah.
Hey, Toby, you want to go to a movie?
No.
Excuse me?
I'm buying TV for a reason, damn it! Okay, let's talk about our game, because we're pretty heavily into the draft. I don't think there's anything which is unusual about the first two pickups from either side, be it Bounty or Latrak, the Leaner and the Tusker. The Silencer pickup in the third phase is fairly early and doesn't really feel like it's countering a specific thing. Or are they just picking it up for comfort zone?
Bounty Hunter's just so good. I mean, okay, remember...
I mean the Silencer.
Oh, the Silencer?
What's he meant to go up against? Like, Signature.Trust. Like, what's the purpose of it?
People seem to think that the Silencer is good right now. Don't ask me why. They just do. They're just like... Silencer, and every single time, like, it's a game loser. In our previous series, he was a game loser, right? Yeah, he was definitely a game loser. I don't know why. I mean, because the European scene was picking up Silencer as well, and every game that had a Silencer, they lost. I just don't think it's that valuable as a support, and I'm not sure why. I would just much rather ban away the Leshrac than attempt to do some fancy way of countering it via Silencer. I mean, I'm presuming that's their thought.
We can't even take out Doom like we saw earlier today. Like, I'm not going to say Doom was the counter to Leshrac. Doom was just farmed and given space. That doesn't mean he's a counter to the Leshrac.
Oh, yeah. I would say that better teams in higher tier games have tried that counter and lost it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very clearly not an assured counter, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the Silencer hasn't even proven to be a counter at all yet.
Please tell me this is an aggro tri-lane. Because this is what I always...
Yes?
You remember when Team Empire were running this almost non-stop, and they had the Silencer support. So all he was there to do is throw out a little bit of extra nukage and steal the intelligence. And the other two would be the kill power. So you run this... I don't think Rubik, Tuskar, and Silencer are the... Like, there's some decent control coming out from all of them. I don't know if this is the kill power, which we're going to go wow to. But at the same time, like, if they can get up in the face of Signature.Trust, a Bounty Hunter roaming isn't going to do jack against an aggro tri-lane. He might hurt the middle lane, which will be the Lina. So Bounty Hunter and Leshrac combo to kill off the Lina is quite good. And he probably won't be able to upset the bottom lane too much, because that would be the safe lane and solo of BackTick, if that's what they do.
If people are going to run Silencer, I am down with Core Silencer. That being said, that when teams pick it up as a third position, it signals a support. I can all but guarantee, because you don't want to go for a carry Silencer and display that early. I think it's a very weak, very poor drafting maneuver that leaves you very easily countered.
Well, he doesn't look like he's being countered right now at all. In fact, it almost looks like Signature.Trust are making their lanes even weaker in a way.
Yeah, they're probably going to run a very independent carry in that safe lane. So the Crystal Maiden can afford to do some jungling and a little bit of rotating. Bounty Hunter obviously is going to do a lot of rotating. And, okay, Huskar. That is definitely one of the better heroes to counter Leshrac. I'll give it that much.
Everything apart from Edict is magical damage. Everything Bounty Hunter's going to do and Clockwork and Crystal Maiden's going to do is all magical damage. They don't have a physical damager, but at the same time, the last hero to be picked up right now is the #1 position for Signature.Trust. It's their safe lane core. So all it is some physical damage that can lock down the Huskar, and I think they might have just found it. Also a great balance before fights begin, or Big Lina either way, if you can get that early damage.
Yeah, Clinks is a pretty solid hero against Huskar. He gives you the kind of physical, like... The problem with going against Huskar is that your traditional physical damage carries aren't ready to go with their damage by the time the Huskar is. Clinks is a hero that gets an insane amount of damage rather quickly. So he will be able to contest the Huskar very well. He'll also eventually build in KB. He'll probably go the Desolator build. There's a possibility that you see a medallion out of him early for them to take Roshan a bit faster, but I think he's much more likely to go the Desolator route and then go for like BKB, MKB after that. And once you have the MKB, 95% of the times you've won the game against a Huskar, because most Huskars double down in the on the evasion. Huskars right now are really abusing the efficiency of the Solar Crest item, which is probably one of the most efficient items in the game. It gives you an increase in armor as well as natural evasion, 30% evasion. And then on top of that, they're also utilizing the Halberd, which I've said for a long time now is a very efficient stat item that, again, is able to kind of abuse those evasion mechanics. Ever since the break mechanic was changed so that these disables are no longer removing evasion. Evasion has become so much stronger than it used to be. So Huskars are really playing off of the fact that there is no real good counter to evasion early on. There really isn't. Especially on a Huskar, because the item that gives you True Strike, MKB, is incredibly expensive, and there's pretty much no hero that goes for it immediately. And then on top of that, I mean, you're overly dependent on nukes at that point in time, where obviously Berserker's Blood just makes you impossible to kill.
This smoke move by BT is not really going to pay off. Even if the Clinks walks down here, they don't have any detection against the Clinks. So he could have actually blown the entire smoke and they'd have nothing that could, well, result in a kill. But they loop through the entire dire jungle. They leave one Observer Ward behind, which is going to block the pull point of the top lane. And then they split themselves out.
Okay, so
it's a defensive lane.
A tie to the impurities.
They run the Co-op in the mid, they run Huskar, Silencer, and Rubik on the bot, which pushes the Tuskar up to the top lane. And they do actually find at least one, but as I said before, they're not carrying any detection.
Yeah.
So, that right click. No detection up against both the Clinks and a Bounty Hunter.
Running into the Bounty Hunter only accomplished Huskar hurting himself, because his Burning Spears didn't even land. So he's going to have a really good time versus Alina. Like, it's already, again, it's a bad matchup. Nina's probably one of the better heroes to deal with Leshrac in a 1 versus 1, but the Bounty Hunter is going to make it that much harder for the Lina.
It's even just the fear factor. Like, yeah, she's going to get a bottle out nice and early on, but the second she walks past this line, she's always worried that the Bounty Hunter is going to be right on top. Right. Boombell's going to now realize when Selena shows herself underneath that Observer Ward that she's already got the bottle, so the Courier Snipe is not possible. She was too quick on it, and he was just late, because he looked for the gank over on Selena before he hit level 2, so there was no Janata to really help out, and Leshrac already blew his stun. Are they switching?
Yeah, they really thought it was going to be an aggro tri-lane. I was looking at that and going, there's no reason, especially on Dire side, you should ever have the Clockwork safe lane unless you're anticipating an aggro tri-lane. And that's exactly what they thought was going to happen from BackTick. And it turns out BackTick just did normal defensive tri-lane. I'm not sure if they expected to dodge. Perhaps with that bit of aggression that they did in the beginning, and because they didn't really see anything, they assumed that Signature.Trust...
middle lane, real trouble for Lina. The Bounty Hunter's going to help secure the first place. He's going to lose his own life. He gets one more Janata over on the Rubik, and the attacks from the Leshrac will allow him to pick up the kill as well. It was the Bounty who claimed the first blood, but it's AABBAA who's able to take both of the experience points.
Yeah, that's huge. The fact that Bounty Hunter really... really well played by him. He got the level by killing Lina. He got the level and leveled Janata before he was able to get that right click. Without that right click and without the Janata specifically, Leshrac wouldn't have been able to get that additional kill. It still would have been a great trade-off, but the additional kill is really what secures the Leshrac in a dominant position over this Lina. Now they have to keep a support behind the Lina at all times, and in fact right now, they're keeping 2 supports behind him.
Yeah, they also brought in sentry wards, but their movements all got scouted out by this Observer Ward. So if you do throw another sentry down here, which Bounty Hunter has? He has Tangos and a sentry, so he will get rid of this sentry ward. Yep, there you go, bump, bump. So there goes the sentry ward. They will have to commit the secondary sentry. Actually, they already put another one down. They bought 4 sentries. So they put another one back behind the tower to see the Bounty Hunter roaming through there. Right now he's just attacking into the Lina. The Shrike Sun's going to land. Lining's off cooldown in 1 second time, which means a guaranteed kill, but they did it with the basic attacks anyway.
This is the worst of both worlds, essentially. You have 2 supports sitting there in the mid lane, but they still were not able to help their Lina in time. So they're roaming, they're not shutting out the Clockwork in the bottom lane. They're not ganking the Clinks. They're trying to help the Lina, but they're failing. This is ineffective support play.
They're actually crippling the Lina by being here.
Yeah. They're sapping some of her experience from time to time while she's still also dying.
On the bright side, their Huskar's getting a crap ton of farm. On the downside, because the supports aren't there anymore, MyPro is able to just pull this lane up quite freely and do whatever the hell he wants. So he's actually managed to drag half of the Radiant creep wave up to delay the next one down.
Yeah, this is the Clockwork's farm is perhaps a bit more important in this game than many others. I've experimented with the Glimmer Cape on Clockwork before, and I feel like it's great. Oh, nice. Put the Clockwork up on the cliff.
It's got no way down.
Yeah.
Courier's busy on the top lane, so It could pick up a TP scroll and drag one down, but it looks like instead Bounty Hunter's on his way down to ensure the safety. But then again, safety of what? Like, what's he really going to do? BT's in no position where they really want to try and kill him off.
But yeah, going back to it, I think Glimmer Cape is really strong versus Huskar as a defensive action, either on the supports or even the offlaner, because it's versatile enough, right? You could save yourself as well as other heroes. But also the Blade Mail. Blade Mail is a really good counter to the Huskar because it does pure damage. So, especially if the Huskar, it jumps on you with his ultimate and you're able to pop Blade Mail in time. That should never happen in competitive play because you should see the Blade Mail before you go. But if that happens, it hard counters the Huskar so much because not only does he take damage naturally from using that ultimate, but then the damage that he applied to you is immediately bounced back with pure damage, so that the reduction doesn't do anything. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is not something. The Bounty Hunter was watching it the entire time. The Clockwork Rockets helped farm it up, but that was just the simple Pulse Nova farm. And that's level 7 now for a Latrak, level 4.5 for the Bounty Hunter. Lena wasn't even in range for it.
She's 2 levels behind this Leshrac. That is absurd.
Yep. And now these two supports have now... They've moved up, but they're not really powerhouses. Like, we got 1 point up in Glaives, and we got 2 points up in Last Word for the Silencer. And the Rubik is still a 1-1. Like, without the 2 points up in Fable, you don't really have enough damage that would pressure Signature.Trust at the moment. So they're not really in a position where they can gank or fight. But they're moving into a position like they want to.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Invis Rune for the Leshrac probably means yet another kill. He's got just enough mana to be able to land the Split Earth Lightning Storm and get a good amount of Pulse Nova charges. Can he actually take this one? He's going to go 3 versus 1, and he could probably get at least 2 kills off of that. Look at the damage to the supports. They're only level 3 and level 2. They just melt.
It's food. It's food for a Latrak. That's another 360 experience and 500 almost 60 gold.
Yeah, I mean, Leshrac is a harassing support. He is not a ganking support at all. And there's a very distinct difference between the two. A ganking support can have impact in the middle lane and can get levels through successful kills. When you try and use a harassive support as a ganker, the gank's naturally going to fail because you don't actually have any power to get the kill, and then he's going to fall behind in experience. A harassive support stays in lane and leeches the experience or even pulls some experience for himself, and it's able to get to level 6 in a decent amount of time. They're trying to use this harassing support and silencer to gank up, and all he's doing is falling behind in experience in one of the supports that's probably one of the most level dependent, I would say, in the game. I mean, what's a Global Silence is your all-encompassing spell. Like, there is really nothing else about the Silencer that's anywhere close to as important.
I hate to tell him, though, like, that Global Silence is going to come too late. By the time he gets Global Silence up and running, he's going to have no effect in the fight, especially on the Latrak, who's now walking around with, I'm assuming that's a point booster. Yep. Like, that Bloodstone is coming a lot quicker. A hell of a lot quicker than BT will be able to deal with. Like, you actually, like, this looks like it's going to do so much work. The Clockwork's finding levels on the bottom, but he's hoping the Bounty Hunters can actually bait him out, and they go for the Huskar. Out comes the Clinks, the Searing Arrows do the work, then they go into the Rubik. Clockwork will take that one, the Cogs push back in Silencer, and Tusker can't really stand here. He's catching up to the Clinks, 1 second till Invis, and 1 second is long enough. With a Shuriken Tosser, slow him down. There's no extra battery assault, but the Frostbite's there from the Crystal Maiden. And Signature.Trust moving so quickly and efficiently across this map. They take another huge team fight with a 4-for-0 trade-off. Everyone involved except for the Latrak, who's currently taking the mid tower without Edict.
Yeah, you go Rubik and Silencer. Going for the Silencer as a support, like, if teams want to continue to try and experiment with that, I understand it. But you can't pair it with another quote-unquote useless support like Rubik. I love Rubik, but he is distinctly lacking in any real nuking power. Like, telekinesis does no damage, right? It can be a potentially amazing disable, but you have to pair it up with a good support, and Silencer is not that support.
Sansa and Rubik, it's
all that happens, they get 3-shot in every fight.
Yeah. It's going to keep happening too. And just when you feel like you're going to get yourself back into this game, just look at the net worth and you go, oh crap, no, I'm not. Like this Clinks is actually building in for a hand of Midas. He's not far enough ahead as it is. He's going to build a hand of Midas as well. He's already pumping out crap tons of damage. The Clockwork now also has Hookshot. He's 17 points of experience into that level 6. So got the Hookshot jump. They have Bounty Hunter, who's the same level as the Clockwork, actually a higher level as far as experience points go.
I was just about to say, with the track gold wrapping in, they're going to get some here.
And they've got 2 tracks on the supports. Huskar burnt away by the Clinks. Hilarious enough, that's not the track kills, and we do see a revenge one. It's Huskar killing the Clockwork off. They see Rubik and the damage. I want her.
That's strafe. Level 1.
I can't. I've lost it. There, I found it again.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It's like in those war movies, the medieval war movies, where the flaming catapult.
It's Robin Hood, man. It's Robin Hood. Kevin Costner is on the back of that arrow, just riding it all the way.
Bounty Hunter would be a good Robin Hood.
Bounty's gonna have it. Really, he runs from the rich and gives to himself. That's Bounty.
No, he gives to his teammates.
Yeah, but his teammates are not poor. Clockwork runs in. He can't get the cogs off. The global silence that she interrupts the cogs at least, but the problem is it doesn't last long enough because by now, actually it will with the shards coming in. They get the pick up on the Clockwork again. That's now the second time he's died. He's died. It's 66.6% of the deaths of Signature.Trust.
They're still going to fight this one with
two tracks. They got 2 tracks. They got 3 tracks up. If the Crystal Maiden leveled up ulti, I'd actually even be like, yeah, you could just do it.
He just needs to throw a shuriken on a creep. Oh my god, that damage. He just 3-shot the Lina.
Yep. Life is hard.
Okay, this is, by the way, why you go Medallion. For that kind of potential. To be able to, like, 3-shot supports and maybe even some cores.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, but Lina's a core.
Yeah, exactly.
She's meant to be a core. But right now, almost every single player... In fact, if you give a little bit more space to the Crystal Maiden, when she's trying to find the jungle at the moment, she'll actually have more net worth than the Lina does. That's when you know you have a severe problem on your team.
Top tower is under attack.
This Bloodstone's going to be coming in soon for the Leshrac. Force Staff already coming in for the Crystal Maiden here pretty soon. The Blade Mail is being worked on by MyPro.
If this smoke gank actually fails from BT, like they're letting their tier 1 tower on top lane die for this. Unless Sans is going to deny this, which means he breaks the smoke, and he's hanging around for it. Like, but this smoke gank will fail because all of Signature.Trust have moved away now. If they don't find something within the next 5 minutes, this game will be completely out of control. With the Blade Mail and a Clockwork, there's no way they can do any damage during a fight, because he's just going to split them all up. Even this Bounty Hunter is on his way to affording a mech. Like, you can't deal with that. And Clinks is so confident that they're starting up on Roshan. Now, you talk about a call which can get a lot of early damage. Clinks is doing it right now. They've managed to get through half of Roshan. And with the Medallion coming back off cooldown, they'll just do it all again. I would actually honestly I'd be surprised if BT could find themselves another kill in the next fight. If you're going up against an Aegis as well.
Yeah, maybe with the Global Silence they'll have an opportunity to do something, but...
They could Lagoon to the Crystal Maiden. Like,
yeah.
That's an option.
They can throw all their ultimates at Squishy support and they might get a kill.
Yep.
Well, they've got the armlet for Huskar. I mean, anything can happen with Huskar. It really can.
That is true. If you can toggle nicely, the issue with God...
You think you're ahead against a Huskar, and you might actually be metrics-wise, like 5k gold ahead or something. But that's the thing.
The problem is, though, like, his armlet toggles can be so difficult when you're getting potential interruptions from the Bounty Hunter, like bouncing glaives to time that right. Crystal Maiden can be sending you up, Clockwork can be hookshotting you. You've got a Clinks who has physical damage who doesn't care about your magical resistance levels.
Yeah.
And even then, he only put 3 points up to the Berserker's Blood. Everything else is into Burning Spears and Life Break. And they found that Lina That's 3 hits. There's no way to hide from that. She had an invis room, but she was also tracked. So more money coming in for Signature.Trust and the hook shots combined. They go after the Huskar. The global silence to make this difficult, but Clockwork's Blade Mail. Huskar is basically killing himself right now. You will still have the Clockwork drop, but he armlet toggles back up again. Maybe that Bounty Hunter a little bit too close. The dust will reveal him. Forced up down, so I get to eat my words. They do actually find not only 1 kill, they'll find a second with the Walrus Punch, but now Clinks has arrived. 2 hits down the Huskar. Looks for 3 on the Silencer, and maybe 1, 2, 3 for the Tuskar. The Crystal Maiden ulti will ensure the kill on the Rubik. And Lena's back to life again. The upside about being so low level.
You know, it's funny. The Huskar, I think, if that second shot from the Clinks didn't actually finish off the Huskar, and it was rather close. Like, the amount of damage he had, the amount of damage the Clinks did and the HP he had left, very close difference between the two. He armlet toggles after that second hit, and he can continue to armlet toggle that whole entire time against the Clinks because he had already used Strafe. He could have actually turned and won that fight, gotten the kill on Clinks, it would have been a huge turnaround. But because Clinks just had barely enough damage, and now he's going to 2-shot.
No!
I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, even heroes like Rubik have an instant disable. If you get behind the Rubik, he still has his turn rate. Right? So you can actually get off that second shot and finish off the Rubik before he is able to telekinesis you. Or maybe the shot's already left your... Maybe he's able to telekinesis you, but the second shot is already left and is going to kill him anyway.
Bounty put down the Observer Ward. Swift saw him. He triggers the dust and actually hit the Clinks, but right now he knows there's no point trying to stand around and turn on the Bounty Hunter. And all Bounty's going to do is get some tracks. Now, Invis again. Oh, nice track steal. They actually keep the vision on the Bounty Hunter, wait for money for Huskar. The Bounty Hunter, though, he's actually got himself a mech.
Oh, God.
The Burning Spears is too much. Laguna Blade also being thrown into work here, but the Clinks just pumping out the damage with that Desolator's removing the armor, not to mention a Pulse Nobering Lashrak. He won't get the slowdown, the Tuskar. But they managed to pick up the Bounty Hunter at least. Shards! It was great until this. It was actually great until this moment. The Lightning Pulse Nova. They burned the Aegis for the shards he threw.
You know, armlet toggling is insanely good pre 20 minutes, right? You're able to get to a high enough HP that, like, nukes can't kill you anyway because you've got magic resistance and there's no one who does enough physical damage to threaten you in, like, the space of 1 second to dish out 400 damage. Most of the time. But when armlet toggling doesn't even give you enough HP to survive, like, even if he toggles it perfectly, right, and he gets max HP from the armlet before the Clinks hits him, he's still dead.
Yep.
That's how much damage Clinks does right now, thanks to double minus armor.
Dude, he's going to do even more soon. He could pick up the Demon Edge if he wants to and just go directly into a Daedalus. He's going to find another solo pickoff. Tuskar, all he can do is snowball in, and then it's just 1 arrow. Clinks another solo kill. 3.2k gold on this Clinks. His net worth is actually 11,000. He's ahead of the Lashrak, who has 701. Clinks is 1302. I don't know. There's nothing BT could do apart from tap out.
I was about to say, there is something they can do, Toby. They can type G followed by a G. And they can just go game 2 with a fresh mindset.
This is like watching Apollo Creed getting beaten down by a Russian. You just want to throw in the towel. He knows it's the right decision.
But BT have their pride. They're
do.
Gonna go down swinging, but they're gonna go down real hard, Toby, just like Apollo Creed did.
Oh, this is just...
Signature.Trust after game 1 are gonna be like, if they die, they die.
Don't you throw in that towel. Don't you throw in that towel. The BKB is now up for the Clinks. So any Walrus punches, global silencers, unless he gets that off, but even then, doesn't even matter. Like, you take away the searing arrows, but I don't think it even matters. But if he gets that BKB off after global silence, then good luck to BT. They have nothing to kill him. The Lena is still a basic Laguna Blade. There's no upgrade in that one. and we're turning this into a split push. AA is taking care of the top. He TP'd to bottom, but the creep just died, so whoops. But he could just keep pushing it through the top lane. Do his own little thing while the Clinks takes the bottom racks. Look at him just go in. He doesn't even care. Like, under the tower, 2 hits down the Lina. The Ghost protects the Rubik until Bounty Hunter throws a Shuriken toss. 1 hit removes 80% of the life of a Rubik. This game is over. Like, there's no hope. There is no OB1. You have just been Death Starred.
Yeah, there's not much analysis I can really give you, Toby. Huskar as the primary carry. There are 5 enemy heroes that are ahead of him in net worth, 2 of which have over double his net worth. There's, I mean, I could just give you numbers.
He just Lagooned, he Lagooned the Crystal Maiden to try and find a kill, and CM, the Burning Spears is actually going to kill her. Can they even get her? The Burning Spears is ticking it down. 13 lives. She lives. It's over. It's over now. Move over. Okay, it's Signature's time now. It certainly is. Whew. That was.
I mean, again, like, people like to say that Dota is not a numbers game because, you know, net worth advantage, experience, and these things can only mean so much. And Dota 2 is a dynamic enough game that, you know, you're always able to make some sort of comeback, but at a certain point, those numbers get too big.